Greetings, Poke fans. Welcome back to Poke Relaxing, your stress, heart attack, and aneurysm-free Pokemon content channel. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have some pretty exciting stuff that I am looking forward to showing you. I'll start with kind of just a little bit of a backstory about how I came across these cards and sort of why I have picked them up. But basically, I've been kind of toying for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months with the idea of, getting a little more aggressive and picking up some vintage Pokemon sealed products. And I've kind of tiptoed into that space a little bit, depending on what you call vintage in Pokemon. Maybe it started when I picked up some like Sun and Moon era and XY era booster boxes. But truly, the vintage stuff is probably like 1996 in Japanese stuff, to about like 2000, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 on the English side. And before I picked up the cards I'm going to show you in this video, really I had just a smattering of things that I've picked up over time. Several base set booster packs, PSA graded. I have a couple of ungraded first edition Team Rocket booster packs. I have some graded Japanese Fossil, which I think is from 1997, booster packs. So that's kind of it. But I've been looking for a while to make a play in kind of some other vintage packs beyond the sort of base set Fossil and the first like 3-4 sets. I've also been wanting to find like a booster box to get, and I've had my eye on a few things over the past 3 months, but not picked anything up. So anyways, this past summer I did a card show as a dealer, and had actually it was pretty much like almost sports cards I had back then. I had bought some Pokemon stuff, but wasn't really selling it at that point. But there were a lot of Pokemon dealers at this show, and I was walking the floor towards the end and kind of meeting some of them. And I spoke to one guy who he had I forget what it was. I think it was just a regular unlimited Pokemon base set booster box. And he had it on his table like the whole time, and then like about halfway through, maybe on the second day, it ended up selling, and I kind of talked to him about it a little bit, and he told me about the guy who bought it, telling him that he was gonna rip it on a stream or something, and and I said, oh, I'm sort of interested in something like that. If you have more stuff, that was the only booster box he had there from kind of the vintage era. And he said, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. I used to deal a lot in Pokemon back kind of before the pandemic, and then stopped for a while, and kind of during the pandemic boom I got into sports cards, and so I've got this Pokemon stuff from way back when. And I said, oh cool, let's keep in touch. And I got his text or his number, and actually didn't end up texting. Actually, I did text him, but I never heard back, so I wasn't really sure where to go with that, and I didn't really want to chase him. But I ended up seeing this guy at another card show that I did more recently, about like 3 weeks ago, and actually it's 2 weeks ago, I think. And he said, hey, yeah, I still got that stuff, and I'd love to work a deal. And I said, all right, cool, yeah, let's be in touch. And then I was at a card show just this past weekend, and there he was, and he had a bunch of vintage stuff there. And he when I stopped in, he said, oh, it's you. I'm glad you came. actually brought a bunch of stuff up, hoping, I could show it to you. And so he showed me the stuff, and I was with my daughter at the time, and I said, cool, let me take pictures of it. I'm going to go back home and, get some money, and then I'll come back later. So I did that, came back, ended up buying the things that you see in this video. So let's start out with a little stack of packs here that I'm pretty excited about. I have a few, older booster packs from kind of very early in the Pokemon world, but nothing from, sort of like early 2000s to mid 2000s, or even really late 2000s. There's so many cool sets. So he had a bunch of packs, and I bought a bunch of the loose ones that he had. He had some blister packs of like Fossil that I actually agreed not to buy because there was another dealer there who I had done some deals with and, have been very friendly with, and he said I was going to try to trade for those, so if you could maybe not pick those up, I'd be grateful. So I definitely would have bought them if he had not said that, but they were there. And then there was some other stuff that I didn't really see, so I didn't comp out, and there was another thing that was just too expensive for me to pick up with the amount of cash I had. So this is what I got. So we got I forget what this is, Heart Gold Silver Soul, I think is the name of this set. HS, or the Era, and Triumphant is the name of the set. And I have a few things from this era in this stack, but I've got two of the Triumphant booster pack. And I'm going to tell you what I paid for these in case it's interesting. Also share a little bit, I've got my notes there. I want to share a little bit just kind of about my sort of how I thought about this purchase, how I thought about pricing, and how I worked this deal. I've actually been thinking there's a bunch of kind of smaller parts to this deal, which we'll start with, and then there's one large part, and I'm actually going to do a separate video on how I approached the large part of this deal, because a lot of times with these big ticket items, it's really hard to know what price you should be at, and how you should sort of achieve your price goals and stuff. So I'm going to do a separate video on that. But for these packs, I'm just going to kind of show you basically what I did. And for all of these items, I basically I looked for comps on eBay, on TCG Player, and generally one of those two places. And sometimes comps were not the easiest to come by on some of the items I'll show you, because they're just not really bought and sold that often. For the packs, they're generally pretty easy to come by. And basically I said, what I want to pay is 85% of the comps, because if you sell these things on eBay or TCG Player, you're making way more money from, me buying them and you not having to ship them, the buyer not having to pay tax on them, you theoretically not having to pay tax, if I pay you in cash, but that's between you and your God and the IRS. So, cash is king, and if I'm coming with cash, I expect to pay 85%, and he knows I'm a dealer, so he knows I have to have room for some profit if I were to sell these things. So, in most cases, I sort of rounded up, and, he felt like he had a little bit of a win there, and that's fine, because some of my comps might have been, off a little bit, I guess in either direction, but it's possible, I've got a deal on one of these because my comp was off and I just didn't know it. So anyways, for these two HS Triumphant packs, I had found comps of about $140, and so I offered, my sort of goal price was $120, but there was two of them, so I said, you know what, let's just do like $250 for both of them, so it's $125 each, so a little bit better than, what I'd hoped to pay, and that was a deal. So, by the way, all of these I'm gonna take out, probably not on this video, I might actually do one here, but I got these really cool acrylic single pack holders. Boy, they wrap the crap out of them. They're really kind of hard to get into. What is going on? I have no idea why I can't. Well, in any event, I got some of these a while ago to hold some Evolving Skies packs that I had loose. And I've got 7 of them left, and I've got 7 packs. Wow. This tape is hanging on for its dear life. So I just kind of want to show them to you. I got these from, I think it's called like Platinum Protection or something like that. I'm going to move this away from the microphone so I can rip it. Okay. Crazy. Well, they certainly take good care of these things so they're in good shape, not scratched or broken in any way. God bless. I can't remember how much I paid for these. I feel like, oh man, I can't even remember. I was thinking like $10 a piece, but I feel like that's way too much. I wouldn't pay for that much. But yeah, you just take off that little top right there. Take this one out. And I didn't take any of these packs out when I was buying them, so hopefully I don't get any unpleasant surprises, but it's possible. There you have it. Beautiful $140 pack right there. Into the protector, and these are little magnets at the end here. And there you go, sealed up. Very nice. Yeah, I like these things a lot. I'm glad I have some nice packs to put in. And so I won't do that for all of them, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys that. Okay. So there you go, 2 Triumphant packs, again, about $141 in value each share, and I paid about $125. Next up from the HS era is Undaunted. These are $150 on the market, it looks like, and I was hoping to pay about $128, rounded up to $130 on this one. So that is that one, and then I would actually have one more HS, but I see this Platinum Arceus is coming in front, so we'll do this one now. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. No Platinum packs. I mean, I don't have any HS packs. No Platinum packs. No, like, really nothing from the eras of the packs that I'm going to show you in my collection before this purchase. So I'm super excited. I actually have thought, like, recently, I think I want to collect like one of every pack, but not like every variation. Like, I don't want a first edition pack of, or base set. I don't want a shadowless pack of base set. Like, I just want a pack from every set. And I think that should be pretty doable, right? Because I mean, these are some of the most expensive ones, along with base set and Fossil and Team Rock and stuff like that. So it's like, it should be doable. I mean, I don't think any pack's going to be more than like $400 or $500, although there are some that you just never ever see. It's kind of crazy how many sets there are in Pokemon. But anyways, Platinum Arceus. Let's see. So this one I comped at $157. Hope to pay $133. Looks like I got a deal on this one because I have it at $130 on my little notes. So got a $3 deal right there. Excellent. And then this is the last Heart Gold Soul Silver one, which is a base set. And it seems like for Heart Gold Soul Silver, the base set packs are actually quite a bit more rare than a lot of, or maybe all of the sets later in the era. That's kind of true of Sword and Shield, where those Sword and Shield like booster boxes are actually the latest sales on TCG Player for those boxes is like $450 for a base set from Sword and Shield, which is only one era old. So those are quite rare, even though there's not really many good cards in it. So this is kind of, I think, the same thing. I don't think this is a great set, but this has a higher value than those other packs just because they didn't really make too many of these, so they're a lot harder to find. The comp that I found on this was $200, and I paid $175 for this pack. Okay, next up we have Neo era, which is one of the earliest, I believe. Let's see what year is on these. Yeah, 2001, right? So a lot of the sets we're familiar with from the early days are from 2000 or 1999, like Base Set Fossil, Rocket, and Jungle. So this is kind of right after that. So very early, and these are expensive. These are very tough to find. I think they did not make many of these, and this pack looks like it's in really nice condition, which is great to see. So this one's, we'll have two of these Neo era sets. This one's Neo Discovery. I had found a comp of $319 on this, ended up paying $275. So nice profit. You know, if I were to sell this immediately for cash and not have to deal with shipping and all that, and you know, fees and stuff like that, that would be pretty sweet. I like that this is Umbreon on there too. Obviously Umbreon very popular at the moment, so anything Umbreon related is a bonus. And then the second Neo pack is Neo Revelation, which is, I think, the most expensive pack here. $350 is what I had seen for the comps on this one. Hope to pay $298 going in. We settled on $300 for this pack. So beautiful, beautiful stuff. I mean, you just do not see these packs very often, at least at, you know, kind of smaller shows where I tend to find Pokemon stuff. I'm sure at larger shows they have all sorts of stuff like that all over the place, but we are not so lucky where I live. Okay, next two items, we have a couple kind of bigger items. They are collection boxes. And these days, collection boxes, you know, from the Scarlet and Violet era, all kind of look, you know, similar. I think we're all familiar if we've ever been to Target or Walmart and seen the collection boxes that, you know, come out each month or two, it seems. But yeah, back then they seemed to have a little less standardization in these things, and they all kind of look a little bit different. But this is a really cool one. It's the Super Snivy box. It has 3 packs. 2 are from the black and white. 2 are black and white emerging powers, which I can see there. And I actually don't know what that third one is. I can't quite see there. I don't really want to, like... yeah. So, if I have any vintage Pokemon experts, and you know what that one is, please tell me. I would love to know. I suspect it's from... I think I see black and white at the top there, so I think it is a black and white set. It might all be black and white emerging powers, but I don't really know. And then there's like an oversized card in here, right there, and a little Snivy figure with a stand, I think is what that is right there, and a promo. So this Super Snivy box, I saw a comp for about $325. So I wanted to be at $276, and I bought it for $280. So cool in there. Probably one of the more recent products, actually the most recent product of any of the ones I bought. Oops. All right, here is another collector box. This will be the second to last item that we show. This one's really cool. It's from Diamond and Pearl, another era where I don't have any sets. So it looks like, I think, Diamond and Pearl base set, Diamond and Pearl Mysterious Treasures, and Diamond and Pearl Secret Wonders, and Diamond and Pearl something, I don't know what that is, something Encounters maybe? So pretty cool that you get a variety of packs. There are four different packs from the Diamond and Pearl era, or 4 different sets from the Diamond and Pearl era, which, you know, if I'm trying to collect one of every pack, is a great start at there. And then there's this Secret Wonders like theme deck, which is pretty cool. I looked up the comps on that, and they're like $80 to $100 just for that deck. And then a couple of promos. Now, I don't know, you know, in the modern era, if a promo is, you know, just a promo, and not like just a card from a set, or from a regular issue set, they would have a little promo indicator there. These do not. I don't know if they did that back in this era, but I don't see any promo kind of indicator there, so maybe these are from some Diamond and Pearl set. But I really like this box. It's definitely got kind of, some scratches and scrapes and stuff on the plastic, but that's okay. I mean, ultimately, I don't know, I feel like I might open this thing and get those packs out, because they're going to be super minty, and that's the sort of thing where, maybe I'll grade them. So 2008 is when this was from, so not quite as early as, like, some of those, like, Neo Revelation, Neo Discovery sets, but still quite early. Alright, so this box was not cheap. The comps I found, and actually, if I recall, there weren't really any sales to look at for this. See, there's a big tear in the box there too, or kind of a crack where it went up. But basically, like, the lowest listed on this were like $700 or $800. So a lot of times when that's the case, if there is a sale, it'll be much lower than the lowest listed. So I put a comp of 500 on this thing. I could look up the price of each of these packs, and I'm guessing they might be maybe a little under 100 each or something like that, and figure out the value of that, then the value of this deck, and see if I could sort of piece together a comp that way. But I just sort of guessed at a $500 comp, which, again, maybe high, maybe low, I just don't know. And then the target price of $425, which is what I ended up buying this for. So this is this is the second biggest ticket item, although it's, 4 packs, whereas the sort of Neo packs were $300 each, or, plus for a single pack, so kind of more value in those. All right, now we have the coup de grace, the creme de la creme, the main driver of the value of this purchase, and here it comes. So, ladies and gentlemen, my first kind of vintage era booster box. Super excited to add this to the collection. And, it's a little scary to buy stuff like this. There are dealers online, who are like on DealerNet, and I would have very high trust buying anything from them, because they've been, they're large. They've been doing Pokemon for, decades, and, they have like really great inventory. But a lot of the times you're really dealing with an eBay seller, or, some random bloke on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and that's pretty risky. Not that you can't overcome, the discomfort with those risks, with due diligence and, care, but my preference was to buy in person if I could, and that's, what I was able to do here with this box. So this is just a regular, they call them unlimited booster box, as opposed to a first edition, which is much more valuable. Basically, again, I'll talk kind of more about this in a separate video, and, sort of how I came to my, pricing numbers on it. But suffice to say, for a lot of these, high value boxes, there aren't regular, market sort of, transaction points to look at, or at least not as frequent as you would like. So it is kind of hard to value this, but basically I was hoping to get this for, I asked him what he was wanting to sell it for. He said, $12,000, and then vaguely said something about, he definitely wants to be in the 5 figures, and I eventually ended up thinking, I would probably buy this at 11,000, and thinking that would probably get it done. I was actually, like, not sure if I was going to be able to, get to an agreement on price with this guy on this, so I was basically wanting to figure this out first, and then if this didn't, if I couldn't pick this up, then I was just going to buy, a ton of his other stuff, because he had a lot more stuff. Well, not a lot more, but he had more things. Probably another $4,000 or $5,000 worth of stuff in sort of, booster packs, sleeve booster packs. He had like a case of an ultra premium collection from Shining Fates. So he had some stuff that I definitely would have bought if I had, more cash with me, but I only brought like the 12K that I had on hand, and because we struck a deal on this and it was pretty favorable, I had enough to buy, a bunch of stuff that I showed you, and that was the deal. But it could have looked a lot different if we couldn't find an agreement on this. But basically, I showed him some comps that were a little bit dated, and it's funny with comps because, I could show you a comp from 2 months ago on a card or a box, and it could be off by 100%, based on the way the market has been moving over that time period. So outdated comps are of very limited utility at this point. But I showed him some comps, from like basically December and September, and well, let's see, I think they were September of 2024 to like sort of early December 2024, and they were like all 8, 9, 10. I think there was maybe one at 12 that seemed like an outlier, but maybe it was a very good condition product. And I was like, it seems like the most, if you average these, it would probably be like, $9,500 or something value on this box. So I said, I would be a definite buy at 10K. So, let me, does that work for you? Or, and he kind of thought about it, and he for a minute, and he's like, well, could you do a little bit better than that? And I was expecting like 10.5 to come back, but he actually said 10.3. So I, put my hand out, said, absolutely, let's do it, 10.3. So that's what I paid for this 10.3. It's entirely possible that if you put this on eBay and you auctioned it, now never mind you're paying like, half the value to eBay, but it's entirely possible this could sell for $8,000 on eBay, right? And with fees, you're making like 45 cents. So, there's a good amount of risk in buying a box without as hefty of a discount as I would normally like on something. But with these higher end items, if someone said you have to buy one of these tomorrow or you die, well, the cheapest I can get this is like $14,000 on eBay. I mean, that's, I think, the lowest asking price. So, so there's that. So yeah, I'll talk more about how I kind of rationalize this purchase, and I could just be insane. It's entirely possible. And folks, don't mortgage your house to buy, an early Pokemon booster box. It's not a smart investment if it's anywhere near the, like, if it's more than, I don't know, 2% of your entire portfolio. And for me, it's much, much smaller than that. But if it's anything like that, like, you should probably not really be buying this unless you really, you're steeped in Pokemon and you've been researching it for 10 years and you've bought tons of stuff in Pokemon before this, and you've had great success, and and you've got all mapped out. Then absolutely, if you've got a great price based on your experience, then maybe you could spend 2% of your total investments on something like this. But for me, this is like, I buy $10,000 in Pokemon products like every 2 weeks. It's just mostly modern stuff. So I've been wanting to diversify. So for me, this is in an odd way, this is a sort of a lessening of my risk to buy something like this, or to buy vintage in general. Is sort of a bit of a diversification from what I have been doing in Pokemon. So I can, Oops, got a visitor. I'll be right back. Alright folks, sorry for the interruption, but we were just about at the end here, so I think I will use this opportunity to sign off until next time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll have some fun things in the future to show you guys. Until then, we'll be looking at kind of the market, the hot sets, the hot singles, and talking about plans for the coming months, sets, years in the Pokemon world. Alright, catch y'all next time. Till then, stay relaxed. Bye now.